Hello and welcome to This Thing's Got Problems. I'm Eric. The thing that has problems today is that 2023 Jetta. Yep, we're gonna work on a Jetta. It needs it. And going to the board, here's all the C10 things, and did some brakes on a cruise. Right here, subwoofer. This car ain't got no bass. None bass this car has. Bad, no good, terrible radio. I am not kidding when I say that when I was in high school, I installed $27 radios that I got from a grocery store into Camaros that sounded better than that freaking audio system in that Jetta S right there. That is the worst thing I ever heard in my life. Just old 50s radios. I collect antique radios. Little 50s radios sound better than the 4 speakers and the stupid screen and all whatever they put in the, and it's probably like $3,000 if it blows out through Volkswagen. Whatever is in that, hot trash, and we have to fix it. It's driving me up a wall. This is going to be part of my solution. I started with the door speakers. They were paper with like a little tiny magnet on it, made in Mexico or something like that. And the audio system, it turns your highs and your lows down the more your volume goes up to preserve the $7 paper speakers that are in the doors, because warranty, they don't want to have to pay to replace the piles of crap that are in there. So I put some Rockford Fosgates in there, some high efficiencies, low wattagers, stock replacement, speakers, not components, truly, but had separate tweeters. Made a big difference. But the car, it's got no bass at all, no matter what your settings are. So here's where this Pioneer subwoofer comes in. I'm trying to keep this cheap. It's a daily driver. I have this C10 that I would rather put money into, but I need something. So we're gonna put this 10-incher Pioneer subwoofer preloaded in the box. It feels light. It's not like what I'm used to from the 90s, that's for sure. But it was affordable. It was like $120 or something. I got this just lying around, and I hooked it up to a battery and it powered up. So we're gonna see if this works. Old school V-Power MRV F300 Alpine. Yeah, also made in China, but I'm hoping back when China meant quality, that never happened. Okay, we're probably screwed here too, but it's a 4-channel amp. I'm gonna just bridge a couple channels. I just need some thumps, just a little. I'm 46, doesn't matter. I don't need my license plate rattling. I don't need the world to know when I'm coming home. I need to round out. I'm a drummer. I like double bass. I want to hear it again. Also, this car, the headlights are great, actually. But because, as the previously mentioned age of my eyes, they're like that bluish hue that all new cars are with the LEDs. Like that 45, 5K, 6K, whatever they call it. It's bluish, which is great on a nice night. But when you're in the country and it rains and there's no street lights, you all know. Anyone my age, these headlights, might as well turn them off. If it's wet, I don't know the science behind it, can't see anything. So we're gonna add, and I love these. These work great for my eyes, yellow, not amber, but yellow fog lights. So we're gonna do that. I already kind of tinted these just so they don't look so, I don't know, like security vehicle type of thing. Got me a wiring harness to go, I lost half of it, to go with this. So we're just gonna wire things today. The worst part of this job is going to be finding a place in the firewall to pass the power wire through for the stereo, which I'm going with 8 gauge because it's, we're low wattage here. And I want something easily hidden. I don't need no fat, giant freaking power your entire city cable. I don't need it. We're not doing that. Ordered that kit. That'll be here tomorrow. So right now we're going to focus on finding a passage and feeding the power switch wire for the fog lamps through. And then I'm going to, hopefully it's a grommet. Hopefully I don't have to drill. I can't find, you can't see the firewall. So that's great. I'm going to go from the inside out. I'm going to try poking a hole. I think I saw a couple grommets. The solution usually to these MK7 Jettas is there's a grommet where your clutch lever goes through. Oops. Yeah, so I'm part of the 3-pedal club. I don't have that grommet anymore to go through. I'm kind of wondering, excuse me, what kind of, there feels like that's empty right there. Like I'm fingering it, you know, and it looks like that's where you'd pop a hole in for something. So I'm gonna, and then I'm gonna feed some red wire through because it's easy to see and see where it goes. Hopefully somewhere good. I know my knees are gonna be so pissed, but by the time I'm done with this, just find that. Let's give her a little poke. Goes clean through. Okay. Let's see if I can jam some. Is there any part of this car that's metal? Kind of. Okay. Just gonna. Sure. All right. And let's see if we can get this through here. Things have escalated already. Battery's out. And it looks like I have to take the battery tray out, which is connected to the airbox, which is connected to like the right headlight and the trunk lid. So I'm trying to see back in there where I think I need to be. Battery came out, thought, oh cool, old school, hold down. Yeah, and then there's also a thing that goes here, and then, so I pulled the 10 mil off of this, took 13 mil off of this, and now we're connected under here and right here, and that's connected to a bunch of wires, and that goes to over there, and then all of that also has to come out, all that, to get that out so I could see back there. Okay, 25. Yep. It was just an air filter in here, right? Jesus. What is that? Made in Mexico like everything. That's fine. I don't know what that does. Yeah, see, it's hooked up to... Why? How does that even work? You just pull on it? That doesn't seem right. Come on now. Okay, get you out of here. Just pull that real hard. Okay, it moves kinda. Will it be enough? Because I don't want to mess with this too. Why? Why? Okay. There should be enough room. Yeah. Get in there. All right, my manual transmission friends, we have victory. All right, guys, follow the welding wire. There you go. See where that's going? Better light. That round area that looks like, you know, you could punch a hole through it, because that's what it's for. So don't worry about, you know, having that extra pedal. You're far more manlier for it. Yeah, right there. That's where we're gonna go. I'll show you on the other side what it looks like. All right, again, you know, follow the wire. Goes back behind here. And of course, it's not gonna focus now. Let me get a better angle. Yep, drop the light. That's good. This is fantastic. Bear with me. I'm trying, okay? Anyways, I don't know if you can see my finger where I'm pointing. There's like this little, it's like a rubber nipple thing right back there. So it is basically a straight shot. And the problem is it's not focusing, but right there, right there. Super easy. Okay, cool. Will it focus? Focus. Kind of. No, there's a bee by my head and it's scaring me. Okay, so I'm gonna stop now and run away. So this is annoying because it's easy to get to, and I have half the car torn apart, and for some reason I took the fuel tank out. I don't have the wiring kit yet. That'll be here tomorrow. I want to keep going. What I do have is 4 gauge, a ridiculous size for the amp I'm going to run, and I have it from my S10. I miss that truck, but it's so much. It's too big. 8 gauge is the way to go, right? Yeah, I think 8 gauge. But then I could put the airbox in and put all the stuff. Nope, you know what? We're just going to continue on with the lights right now. Let's just continue on with the lights, see where we are. We're just going to have to wait for, oh, that will happen too. What's all that? Had this hanging on the wall over there. Forgot about it. It's 10 gauge. Is that enough? Not looking. All right, I'm not gonna do it. Nope. It's aluminum. It's not great. We're gonna wait for the kit to come in, and we're gonna focus on getting this guy through. I'm just gonna have to take the switch off and jam her in there. All right. Well, I couldn't wait because, you know, it's all torn apart. And the problem is where I live, sure, Amazon says they'll be here 10 to 3 tomorrow sometime. Never. It's usually, you know, by like 7, if at all. A lot of times, especially on a Sunday delivery, it gets canceled, which is really annoying, but, you know, it's where I live. It's fine. So, ran out, got an 8 gauge wire kit. Seems small compared to a bunch of things I've installed before in my life. But this way I can feed the power wire through and then at least put the engine compartment back together. Hope that wasn't important. Yeah, there you go. This is what I'm after. Well, that's already put on there. That's nice. It's probably crappy wire. It doesn't matter. Oh, that does not look much different than the stuff I already have. Get off me, bug. All right, so here's one more view before I go putting this battery and all that back together. That's about where you're gonna be. Just look for a little protruding nipple, you know, and poke from the other side. It's about the size of a 4 gauge wire, so it'll be pretty obvious. All right, manual transmission, guys, there you go. All right, get you out of here. Let's see, what the hell did I do? Oh, nothing good. It is, Yep. Okay. Where's that nub? There it is. What is this now? Goosemounts there. Yep, lost everything. All right. This went there. That needed the other thing on it. Goes this way. Well, where are the... Lock back in there. Okay. You won't stay out of the way, will you? What are you, a Harley? Nope. Nope. Okay. Well, I guess let's just make sparks then. It's this thing, whatever this thing is. They definitely don't want this battery moving on you, do they? Feels like that's home. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You must be a Harley. Exhausting. Yep. Sounds like all the modules are modulating. Nope. All right. That doesn't stay there. I don't know why I keep trying. Winded. Oh yeah, the other. We need all the tie downs. Definitely don't want this moving. For all that auto crossing this car does. Is that all 48 of them? Looks like it. Screwdriver. Oh, used it for poking. If you want to put this on, got to put a fuse between there. You figure out a good routing spot. This actually is not... This looks pretty good, actually, for putting stuff in places. Yeah. Let's put the fuse around here. This will be a mess. We'll see what goes on with this. So that pre-made harness for the fog lights that I do not have in yet. We'll continue on with this now. I took the top of the airbox off again. This is kind of, when it's mounted, the only place this doesn't look stupid and just floating around like a lot of people do. I hate that. So mount it to something, will ya? But that's kind of, you'll have like a smooth wire transition. It's kind of the only place I think this should go. And I might, possibly the relay for the lights might go on here too. So, yep, drill a couple holes, slap her back on there temporarily until I figure out where the relay is going. What was that? So that's what I was talking about, right there. And then, you know, imagine that cut. And then, you know, it's nice and neat and not flopping around. Now, this, I don't know why, but I was looking right there, and I just kind of did one of these. Like that. That stays. That goes nowhere. I mean, that looks done to me, right? Run that up to the plug for the inside. This goes to the battery. That's funny. Nope, that'll go to a... Nope, I don't see a ground either. That'll get lengthened. And then, you know, whatever. And that goes down there somewhere. All right, so what I thought was going to be a super convenient wiring harness, plug and play, move on with your life. Not so much. I realized they took a couple, like they took the switch wiring and like the main relay and they put it together. So it's on off, which will be fine as long as you remember. No, that's, as a guy who's killed many a battery just leaving things on, I need to have that switch on the old accessory, or, you know, car on, then lights on, key off. Even if you forget, then it shuts it off. That's what I need. So I have to go into the fuse panel, which is, you know, it's a Jetta. It's right there. It's right under you. Driver's side. You flip the, you know, how you take the thing off and you look, it's like, what's what? That's not on there. So you got to dig through the manual. It's pretty annoying, actually, because, you know, I'm going to read a book. Not fun. Would you like to see that, just in case you're doing this and you need to know which ones to access? I'm going for the lighter socket because it's always worked for me in the past. It's a 20 ampere. I'll show you where. I'll also give you a little quick screenshot of the manual and the guide to what things are. Because if you don't have a manual, if you bought yours used, because no one really puts their manual back in the car when they trade it in, now you got to dig through the internets. And half of it's wrong. Why are you putting the stuff out there if it's not right? All right, here's that. You're going to want to go digging around in here. That's the guy I'm going for already. Checked. It is switched. So I know some cars, the lighter will stay on. You know, if you're charging a phone or something, this does shut off with the key. And yeah, when you pop that off, it tells you absolutely nothing. So that's great. But right here, if you don't have this, there you go. Just go ahead and I'll give it a few Mississippis before moving on. Feel free to pause if you need to. Okay, moving on. So I get to undo all this nice covering because I got to get at this white wire because that is what I'm going to go up to here with. That'll be the power supply that runs through the switch that sends the signal to the relay to turn the relay on. And the relay gets the power from the battery, it turns the lights on. Follow all that? Cool. Okay, so, but I have to undo. I'm going to need some slack, I think. I'm not sure how much is here. So I'm going to have to cut this, undo everything that's nice about it, and get one of those fuse taps, I think they call it. They got them at O'Reilly's. So you just kind of jam it in the hole and It's, you know, you're not hacking nothing. It's just, you know, you're just tapping into it. So, okay, that's next. And more wiring, which you don't really want to see, I don't think. All right, just ran out real quick and got one of these fuse taps. And what that does is just moves the fuse from that circuit into this holder thing, and you get a little wire that comes out with a crimp end. I don't like the crimp end, so I cut that off and I soldered it. Now I got that will run to the switch, and if we turn the key, we're good. Now when you're an idiot and you're like, oh, do I got my fog lights on or not? I don't know, I'm just gonna go inside. And then you turn the key off, fog lights go off. So there you go, shut up. I know, I'm removing the key. Jeez. Because there is so much room right here, it's not gonna interfere with anything. I think that is where the switch is gonna go. And then, you know, when you trade it in, if they're all complaining about you putting holes in the dash, you can just replace that. And there you go, hole drilled, switch installed. And this is the left rear speaker wires. Blue, black is your positive. Tapped into that for the input for the amp and the little processor thingy. So I got this stuff mounted onto the box because I want to be able to take it out of the car if I need to, if I got to move bodies or something. It's a big trunk. I don't know why I'd ever have to, but you know, just in case. So I got it kind of wired to the LC2i audio controller. It converts things into pluggy things that go into this thing. And then it also stops the horrible bass roll off that your Jetta will have. As I've said before, I'm pretty sure I said before, the stock radio turns the bass down as you turn the volume up to protect the $7 speakers that they don't want to warranty. That does sound familiar. I'm pretty sure I said that. It's a week later, can you tell? Anywho's, I got this kind of wired, but not fancy wired because I still don't know if this works. It powered up. That's all I know. So I don't want to go through all the trouble of making this length of wire fancy and, you know, only for it to do nothing. So we're going to find out now, I think. I gotta get the fuse and the power onto the battery and, yeah, get it in the trunk and just kind of test hook up things and see what happens. Oh, you can also on this, if you're running just one channel, if you're just monoing it because, you know, subwoofer, you can jump left and right. Just little jumper wires. It's actually recommended by them. You have to have the left. Excuse me, I'm choking on my own spit. You have to have the left hooked up if you want to have this turn on by picking up the signal from the radio. So if you're not using a remote wire to the accessories anywhere and you're going off of that, it has to be left channel. So at least. So if you're going to do a single mono, don't go just right, go left. And then, you know, just jump it and then you can run out of both RCAs into both into the... Okay, I'm going to put this in the trunk and see what happens. Well, there seems good to me. I can still, you know, got access to that if I need it. It's not too much in the way. Yep. That'll probably do. Oh, hello. So I've wedged myself into the back of this car because I gotta get to a ground. Forgot about that part. And I have just pulled up. It's got a couple of clips down here. Just pull up hard on the front and that pops up. I haven't figured out the back part of it yet. Nope. Nope, nothing looks familiar. Nope, can't really. So how? I don't know exactly. Feels like more clippy thingies. Oh, what's that? I bet there's something under that panel. I don't know if I want to go that far. Yeah. What is that? Fuel pump? Bet it is. Okay, we might abandon this mission and find another ground. Unless... yeah, I can't even feel it. Oh yeah, I can. Yep, sure enough. I don't want to pull that panel. Let's find another ground.
Moods situation.
Oh yeah.
Let's broach the big black moods sitch.
We've all been the black moods at one
You
point.
know where the button? There's nothing under the hood. I guess I forgot that part where you got to hook up things to the battery under the hood. So yeah, definitely, hook your battery up before you test out your amp. Check. A couple things real quick. Actually, one thing in particular. When you go and start your car after having the battery disconnected in these Jettas, you ever see those 80s movies with like fighter jets and stuff when the missile's locked in and then their entire dash turns yellow and starts flashing? That's what it's going to do. Basically, it's very strange. The car forgets where everything is and it thinks the world is falling down. You have to, once it's running, turn the wheel all the way left, all the way, full lock, turn it all the way right, and then you'll probably have like 4 or 5 codes go away. It's going to be like, can't find perimeter sensors in backup camera, and a bunch of things won't work until you turn the wheel all the way left, all the way right. And then most of the other things, just drive it around and it should be fine in about 10 to 15 minutes. So don't freak out. That's just what they do. Volkswagen life, I guess. It works. I mean, I can't play anything for you because YouTube and copyright, but it works. It makes decent bass, almost too much. So I had to turn the gain way down on the amp. The AccuBass, part of the LCI, works really good. Actually, it keeps it steady. It doesn't fade out nearly as bad as it did when it was just off the radio. So that's all good. Yeah, I think just clean up some wiring now and then try to figure out how in the hell I'm going to mount fog lights to that flimsy bumper, which I don't think it's going to be to the bumper. Guess I should figure out this mounting bracket system. I have this. I don't know why. It is a Ford D5TA-18888AA. It's a bracket for a 73 to 79 F100 radio. Nope, not me, but I have it. I don't know why, but come look. I don't really want to drill, like for one through the mat, and then two into whatever's under there. But this thing, who cares? And I mean, that's some luck. I also don't know if I mentioned it, but temporary ground because I didn't have a screw. I didn't have a thing to get whatever that weird star-shaped thing is out of the seatbelt holder. So this is the ground for now. It works fine. I'm going to move it eventually to where you don't see it. But, for these purposes right now, getting this thing going, that's what we're going to do. I don't know. I'm stuck here thinking about this. Where I was going to put these in the grill, they're going to flop around. I'm not going to like that at all. So, short of pulling off the bumper, I mean, you have to pull off the bumper. There's a strip of metal at the bottom of these things. You can possibly, and I'm going to have to make up a bracket and just, go right to that. I have to pull the bumper off to do that. There's also like a $130 kit that replaces, when they decide they're not going to give you fog lights because they want to make the car really, really cheap, but instead they spend money on making these filler panels where fog lights would go. You take those out and you just put the other ones in, and I think you still have to take off the bumper. So either way, that is not going to happen today because I'm dodging weather. There's just storms all over the place, in and out, in and out. And, obviously this is all taken up by C10 in here. So I think we're going to close this video out. Right? And, yeah, I mean, it was mostly about running the wiring anyway. if you got one of these MK7s. I think that's what the cool kids call this version of Jetta, the 22. Is it a 22? I don't know. 20 something. This one's a 23. I think it's like 22, 23, 24, 25 through this facelift versions or something. I don't know. But either way, you figure out how to run your stereo wires and, you know, your fog light wires if you want to do that sort of thing. So thank you for watching and subscribing and liking and doing all the cool stuff. That speaker, by the way, that was the first thing this channel paid for. So thank you all for that, because, you know, getting paid for it now. They're just like, here, here's some money. I'm like, all right, I'll take it. So sweet. All right, talk to you next time.